Well, Prahoundar everybody, good afternoon and welcome to Mark's allotment number 4 I believe. It's the 30th of March 2016. It's a nice sunny afternoon at the moment, so I'm going to take this opportunity to do a bit of digging in. Right, just quickly show you what I've done so far. So I've dug this patch yesterday. Started digging in the grass. As I say, I started digging in the ryegrass, get that to rot down, ready for the next sort of crops. Crops I'm looking to put in now in the next, well, week or so, is some early potatoes, second earlies rather, and then main crop. So I got one row of second earlies to go in, and then 2 rows, enough potatoes for 2 rows of main crop. That should be enough for me for this year. I grew too many last year, and so I still got another 2 sacks of potatoes left over. So anyway, so I'm now gonna switch the camera off temporarily while I set it up, and then ready for the next section. Anyway, see you soon, bye. Well, Prahoundar everybody, good afternoon and welcome to Mark's allotment number 4 I believe. It's the 30th of March 2016. It's a nice sunny afternoon at the moment, so I'm going to take this opportunity to do a bit of digging in. Right, just quickly show you what I've done so far. So I've dug this patch yesterday. Started digging in the grass. As I say, I started digging in the ryegrass, get that to rot down, ready for the next sort of crops. Crops I'm looking to put in now in the next, well, week or so, is some early potatoes, second earlies rather, and then main crop. So I got one row of second earlies to go in, and then 2 rows, enough potatoes for 2 rows of main crop. That should be enough for me for this year. I grew too many last year, and so I still got another 2 sacks of potatoes left over. So anyway, so I'm now gonna switch the camera off temporarily while I set it up, and then ready for the next section. Anyway, see you soon, bye.
Filming you at work, is it?
Sorry?
Filming you at work.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so just a couple of rows. Who needs a gym, eh? You can free exercise, bit of digging, does you good. Just going to turn the camera around a second. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but I've, for ease of application, I've planted the seed in rows, the grass seed in rows. This makes it a bit easier to dig in. If it was a small patch, I would have just broadcast it, but if it was a large area, it's much easier if you grow it in rows like this, for the purposes of digging in. Now then, grass is around about, I don't know, 10 inches high, somewhere around 9-10 inches. I think that's about as much as you want it to grow. Let it grow before you dig it in, otherwise it becomes a bit unmanageable. If it does grow bigger than that, then just chop it down a bit so that you're not having to deal with so much material. Now, for some reason, I planted some ryegrass seed down the other patch of my allotment, and it didn't grow. So I was going to use that for seed, so I'm going to have to dig up some of these clumps and transplant them so I can grow seed for, well, the end of this year, next year. Right, I'm just going to switch off for a second, so I'm going to do a little bit more digging and then be back to you shortly. Okay everybody, for the benefit of the camera now, I'm just going to dig one last row, and then I'm going to have a breather and then just bring you up to date on the rest of the plot. So still a bit windy today, so that you may hear quite a bit of wind noise, unfortunately. Anyway. that's the digging done for today. I'm not going to do any more. I think that's enough. I'd finish the rest off some other time, but just to bring up to date, these broad beans here I planted in October, I think it was, or November, sometime like that, along with some autumn onions and some garlic, so autumn planting onions. I also planted some spare broad bean seeds to transplant into the gaps, but frankly I'll get enough of that double row to satisfy my needs for the early crop. But this string, from the string to here, I've got another double row of broad beans planted, so they'll come up a bit later in the year. Then I'll be planting one row of second early potatoes, and then 2 rows of main crop potatoes. But also I've got some onions, main set onions, main crop onions even, to plant there. Right, anyway, so as I say, this is ryegrass, just been dug in. Now, a little tip: they say you must learn from your mistakes. Well, I would say learn from other people's mistakes. So learn from my mistake, and that is, if you're going to do heavy digging like this, always keep your lower back warm, your lumbar region, and for that purpose I usually use an old fleece which I wrap around my middle, and I use that even in the height of summer, because I've discovered to my cost that if you don't use anything like that, as soon as you stop digging you start to cool down, because obviously you will sweat. My back used to go into spasm, and I'd be laid up there for maybe 3 weeks or more with a bad back, which is obviously not good. But since I've started keeping my back warm, I don't seem to have the problem anymore. Right, obviously this is fennel, not the root fennel, but the other type of fennel. That's going to be cut back at some point. This is being dug over, so I don't need to do that anymore, just cultivate it level. This will have to be dug over at some point, but I'm not in a mad rush for that. On the last video, I think I mentioned about growing parsnips from seed. Well, my parsnips were in a row here. They have all come out, except with the exception of this one here, which I've let grow. Now this is the second year, so now it's regrowing. As I explained, it grows for first year, dies back, then in the second year it regrows again. Now this year, and I will show you eventually when it gets to the point, that it'll grow up to about 3 to 4 feet, maybe a bit more depending, and it'll put out seed heads, and several seed heads in fact, and I'll have some nice fresh parsnip seed. And I found by doing that I get better germination than the shop bought stuff. Now, as the ground weathers, you can see all the stones are coming to the surface, which I'll rake off anyway, but which is why it's causing me problems trying to grow root crops. Excuse me. So we'll go down to the second plot. Raspberries are starting to show growth. Now, my next door neighbour here, he has very kindly given me, he gave me these 2 pallet collars here. He's obviously come down at some point and given me another one, which I'm very grateful for, because they're brilliant. So I don't know what to do with that one yet. Anyway, in here I've got 2 or 3 rows of carrots I planted earlier, and when they start to show I'll then plant them some more, and I'll do that in succession all the way along. And this year I'm planning to do it the same for parsnips, to see what sort of results I get with that. The gooseberries are starting to sprout, and this one is a bit more advanced. It's probably a different variety. One over there, and also the black currants. Yes, that's right, black currants. And I think these are the red currants. And another gooseberry, obviously. So they're starting to come. bit of purple sprouting. I wasn't expecting these to come, but they've obviously put in some stuff out, so I'll try a bit of that. Delicious raw. Now, I started digging down here, but very quickly stopped because I don't know if you can see, it's very wet down this patch. In fact, I'll show you this puddle. Yeah, so, and that's house on this steep bit of land as well. So, check my well. Yep, welly good, as they say. It won't fill up because obviously I've connected an overflow which then runs down to the blue butt down the bottom. If it does fill up, then obviously I got a blockage somewhere. Oh, good. Rhubarb, which I transplanted, that seems to be coming now. I thought it wouldn't come because it was so wet down here, but you know, it seems to thrive, and that's good. As I say, I haven't been down here for perhaps 2 or 3 months. The weather's just been so bad. Yeah, a bit like a junkyard, but that won't take much to clean up. What else have we got going here? My comfrey is starting to grow. That's good. And my nettles. So, obviously, I'm going to grow those this year. Have to keep an eye on it though, because obviously I don't want it spreading everywhere. Don't think I want to drink that. Anyway, well, that's about it for now. As I say, this is now April. I'll do another video, short video, where I'll be planting some potatoes and excuse me, a bit later some onion sets. Now, if these red currants, if these come okay this year and they're fine, what I'll do is I'll dig out, well, I'll let these crop this year obviously, but at the end of this year then I'll probably dig them out to have this space. Okie doke. Right, I'm gonna pop back to the house and I'll finish off over there. See you shortly. Bye. Well, everybody, welcome back, and just to finish off, we're now back at the ranch. It's a nice, pleasant 10 degrees warmer in this greenhouse. We're now looking at 62 degrees, so it's very pleasant in here. As I said, I'm going to grow some second earlies, and the variety, I couldn't remember the variety at the time, but the variety is Charlotte. Say second earlies, and also main crop, and these are reds, and these are Desiree, whichever way you pronounce them, and also main crop onions. Now, I don't normally do it this way, but I usually grow onion sets by putting them in straight into the ground and letting them get on with it. But what I've decided is to put these ones that I bought. Apparently they're mildew resistant variety, a bit more expensive, so I'm giving them a try, and I've got them in little plugs, and they are starting to grow. I'll just show you. Okay, so that's the, I'm not sure what variety they are, but I must admit I tend not to worry about varieties. I just shove it in and let it grow. I don't know if you saw as well, like these things here, and because I've got 2 wood burners, I'm trying this new way of making paper blocks basically. I've got a machine to press the paper, but I have to say I don't think I'll be using it very much. It's too time consuming, and it's very messy. It makes a heck of a mess, and the other problem with making all these blocks which are soaking wet, it takes forever to dry them out. But anyway, you know, you've got to try these things. And so if there's any questions on any of the videos I've put up, feel free to post a question or make a comment. Also, you may want to see me my microlight film, because I've started learning how to fly a microlight, which is great fun. Anyway, because I've turned 59 now, I'm trying all ways to kill myself. No, I'm only joking. But anyway, bye for now, everybody, and see you in the next one. It may be, as I say, I might have been doing one every month, but I don't. It may not be every month. It depends on how quick stuff is growing, and etc. All right, take care for now. Cheers. Bye.